On Saturday, November 2nd, starting at noon, Kevin Williams is helping sick kids by playing video games. He needs your help to raise $1,000 for the CHIO Foundation. Donate at extra-life.org/participants/347875.
Hey guys, I'm Jen. I'm a gamer, a photographer, and a longtime wrestling fan. Wrestling, especially women's wrestling, has truly evolved over time and is bigger than ever. I'm here to give my take on the world of wrestling, be it women, men, or whatever else is on my mind. Because if women in wrestling are being heard more, shouldn't women in wrestling podcasts be too? Welcome to Women Crush Wrestling!
What's up, guys? No Just Jenny this week. It's just your boy Adam flying solo, but not really, because I'm not alone this week. Alexia Nicole is going to be on the show, one of the fastest rising female superstars in Ontario, Indies, and beyond. She's going to be talking Disney Wrestling Movie Club with us. If you don't know what that is yet, stick around for the interview. We're going to talk all about that and more. Of course, Alexia, she is going to be a part of the big event known as The Summit, which is happening August 10th. That's a Saturday at 9 a.m., kicking it right off at the first thing in the morning, going all the way until 1 o'clock at the Midtown Event Theater, also known as the Met. That's 2492 Yonge Street in Toronto. Get your tickets right now. Visit smash-wrestling.com for that details, or you can just get them at ticketscene.ca. Pretty easy there. She's actually going to be part of the pre-show, the meet and greet exclusive. Jody Threat and Mary Lee Rose going to be taking on our girl Alexia and Meave O'Farrell. It's going to be really awesome. Check it out. I've got my tickets. I'm going to do the meet and greet with Bull Nakano. This is going to be an incredible show. Listen to this card they've got. Nicole Savoy going to defend her Shimmer Championship against Nicole Matthews. Mercedes Martinez defends the Femme Fatales Championship against Jordan Grace. Wow, that's going to be a hard-hitting affair. Zoe Lucas defending the Rise Championship against Ariel Monroe. And one of the matches I'm looking most forward to, the first ever Smash Wrestling Women's Champion is going to be crowned between Casey Spinelli and Rosemary. That's going to be a can't-miss match. There's going to be an incredible Fatal 4-Way match, as well as some incredible talents that are on the rise in the world of women's professional wrestling. If you love women's wrestling, and if you're listening to this show, chances are you probably do. Make sure you get your tickets right now. Again, check that out at ticketscene.ca/smash. There you go. Get those for both the event and the meet and greet. Now, speaking of great shows, in case you didn't know, WrestleMedia goes on the road. We like to travel. We like to see different places, meet different people. And we are going to be in the Toronto area around the same time as the Summit, except we're going to be at a very different kind of show. The Union of Independent Professional Wrestlers is back for their event Never Say Never, happening Thursday, August 8th at the Transact Club at 292 Brunswick Avenue in Toronto, and we are going to be there. Our very own Michael Walsh has been doing some wheeling and dealing behind the scenes. We're going to have a table set up there. We're going to be giving away a very cool prize for those in attendance. So make sure you get your tickets by visiting wrestlersunion.ca for all the details on the event. Some of the incredible talent that are going to be on there. RJ City, Space Monkey, Anthony Kingdom James. We've got, I believe, Josh Alexander, one half of the Impact Wrestling Tag Team Champions, is going to be there. Holden Albright, and a whole lot more. Trust me, you don't want to miss this show. Go check it out, wrestlersunion.ca. Then coming up on Saturday, August the 17th, we are back with Chinlock Wrestling in Napanee at the Chinlock Wrestling Academy, 824 Palace Road for Chinlock Wrestling's Fallout event. Tickets are just $15. Get them right now. You can get them at a bunch of different locations. Gino's Pizza is where I would recommend you go and check that out, because not only can you get your tickets there, but good pizza there, too. We will be in attendance. We hope to see you in attendance as well. Now, don't forget, if you haven't yet subscribed to our newsletter, you can do so right now for free over at our website, WrestleMedia.ca. Just click the link there, and then you, every week, will get a newsletter in your email inbox for free. It'll give you all the news, all the big events, all the best podcasts, and all the cool stuff that, well, others might not get. And you'll get it each and every single week. We'll have exclusive contests on there. One we've got in the works right now that I can't talk about, but trust me, you're going to want to make sure that you're subscribed to this newsletter for all of those details. We're going to get your opinions on things. We're going to get you feedback. We want all that stuff, and you can only get it through our newsletter. Again, it's free at WrestleMedia.ca. Finally, if you're listening to this and you're like, God, if I just wish there was a picture of Jen or something that I could kind of visualize what's happening there, well, head over to our YouTube channel. Yeah, we've got one. You can follow the links at WrestleMedia.ca, and then you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that little bell for the notifications. That way you know exactly when you've got a new video. And we put out a video content piece along with all of our podcasts so that you can watch along as well as listen along. Plus, we've got all kinds of road trip videos. We've got the New to Drew series as well as our Package Pile Driver series. Lots of great stuff to check out there. So go and check it out. Right before we get into our interview with Alexia Nicole, I had the chance to talk with her actually during the Queen Street Entertainment event that we were a part of. Again, we were on the road there, so you never have a chance. You never know, you're going to maybe catch us in the middle of an interview when you go and see us live on tour. I had a wonderful time talking with Alexia. It's a great interview. Sit down and enjoy this, and then go find Alexia online, follow her on social media, and of course catch her at a local wrestling event near you. Let's take it to the interview. I'm joined here today. We're recording this in Renfrew, Ontario, the mecca of pro wrestling, at least, for people here in the city. What?
Tonight is the mecca of pro wrestling.
There you go. That's the way you think of it. Wherever Alexia Nicole is the current mecca of pro wrestling. That's for sure. Alexia Nicole, thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me on the show. I'm excited.
We're excited, too. It's great. You've been a big presence on the women's independent scene here in Ontario and abroad for a long time, and it's great to have your voice be heard on Women Crush Wrestling, so we're really excited to have you here. I got to ask about your nickname, Bubblegum Princess. Tell us about where all that came from.
So the Bubblegum Princess came from... So I just used to get really nervous and grind my teeth before matches. So I just chewed bubblegum because I'm like, okay, I can't grind my teeth. I'm just going to ruin my teeth. And I was at Smash one day, and I was cutting a promo. I blew a bubble during it, and I was just... It worked. So I just kept it from there. And yeah, that's really the story. It's not like a cool story. That's really the story to how that happened. And it just looked good in the promo, looked good in photos, and it just kind of took it and rolled.
Well, that's the way you got to do it. I wonder if that was the same reason Shawn Michaels was always chewing gum. Maybe he grinds his teeth.
Maybe. I don't know. I know some guys, chewing gum I learned from a history teacher. If you chew the same flavor of gum while you're studying before you do a test, it'll help you remember.
Really?
Yes.
Do you find that works?
I did, actually. For a while, it would help me with my matches.
When did you get started with your matches?
I was 15 when I started training. I think I had my first match, I was 17.
That's very young. So walk me through how that comes about, where obviously you're like, Mom, Dad, I've really been thinking about joining the hockey team. No, I want to be a pro wrestler.
So my parents were so against it. My parents did not want me doing it. Actually, when they went on vacation, I got my uncle to take me to Squared Circle training in Toronto because he's a huge wrestling fan, and he was really excited about it. So he took me there. I met Rob Fuego. He's my trainer, and he showed me the school. He also thought I was a little young. But I kept bugging my parents about it, and then that September, that was like March of 2011. That September, Taylor Wilde was doing an all-women's class from September to, I want to say, it was 5 months. So from September to April, and I signed up for that right away. Or no, sorry, not September to April. I'm terrible at math. It's September to January or something.
I hate math. That's why I said, I'm going to take audio and I'm going to learn how to do interviews instead, because nobody talks about math on these things until we're talking about start dates and stuff. Okay, so let's go back to the uncle then. Huge wrestling fan. Is that how you got into pro wrestling, through him?
Kinda. So it all started, my grandmother was my great-grandmother was a huge wrestling fan. So her daughter, my grandmother was a huge wrestling fan. So then my mom and my uncle, her kids were big wrestling fans. My uncle more so. My mom and my uncle are about 20 years apart. So my mom is 20 years older than him, and she had my brother when she was 21. So they're close in age. They're like brothers. So he got my brother into wrestling. My brother got me into wrestling.
So how far apart are you and your brother?
10 years.
Wow, that's quite a little bit of a gap there. What was that like growing up with a brother who was a full decade older than you?
It was pretty good because it's my brother and then my sisters. My brother and my sister are 4 years apart, and then there's me. So my parents never had to pay for a babysitter, so they're happy about that. But we just kind of we all watched each other, took care of each other. I kind of took after both of them, so I really took up wrestling and a lot of nerd culture from him, and a lot of more girlier stuff from hers. But it was cool. It's a lot of fun to grow up with someone that much older because you have someone to watch you that's not your parents, which is a little bit nicer. You can kind of get away with more. You can tell them some things you're not supposed to be doing that you do anyways, and you don't feel bad about it. You learn how to handle things. You learn how to do things without having to have your parents there.
Strategic breeding from your parents. That's a smart move on their part. I might have to look into that a little bit later on. So what would you say, who are you more like, though, your mother or your father?
My dad. definitely my dad. My dad, like, I know I seem real bubbly right now. I'm very quiet person. Very quiet, very laid back, don't do much. My mom's like the outgoing, talkative one. Yeah. Wrestling brings it out of me, but like if I'm not near a wrestling ring or like people, I'm very quiet to myself.
Well, let's talk about that then, because if you're sitting here telling me you're quiet, you keep to yourself, clearly that must have been how you were in training and around others. So who decides, what gimmick would work for her if she's the exact opposite of who she is in real life?
I don't know. It's weird. Like I said, wrestling just brings it out of me. Like I had bad anxiety when I was in elementary school. Like I couldn't give, like, those speeches you have to give in elementary school, those 5-minute ones. I couldn't do them in front of my class. I'd write them and they were good, but I had to do them just in front of the teacher and like a handful of students during recess. I could not talk in front of people. I don't know what changed. From then to grade 8 to grade 10. I don't know what changed. Something changed there right when I started wrestling, and I still get quiet and shy, but nowhere near as much as before.
So do you feel that same way with promos then, or is it like when you get out there, it just completely switches on for all aspects?
All aspects. It's totally, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's me being in gear. I don't know if it's having people like that I don't know around. Maybe that's what it is. Like, oh, I don't know them. Who cares what they think? It's not like I'm going to see them every single day of my life. I don't know what it is. I don't know, but something changes.
If only you had wrestling gear back in elementary school, then, you would have been fine.
I thought about it in high school. I thought about wearing my gear under, my uniform and just, maybe this will help me give, presentations.
Well, it obviously worked out okay. Now you do promos. Obviously, you perform in front of, hundreds and thousands of people every single year, which is amazing. Let's go back to when you first started. So, you go behind your parents' back. Your uncle steals you, kidnaps you away, takes you to a strange luchador school out in Toronto. How do they find out? How do you break the news to them? How does it end up happening that they're like, well, okay, I guess this is a thing now?
Yeah. So I told them straight up, but they were gone, and it's easier always. It's easier to ask for forgiveness and permission. So we didn't say anything. We went. We saw it. I didn't sign up for anything. I just got in the ring. He showed me how to roll around a bit, which I had learned from karate too, because I was doing that at the same time. I told my parents when they came back. They weren't mad about it, but they were like, oh, okay. Now we have to take her back eventually. So,
were you always rebellious as a kid, or was this kind of like your first taste of rebellion?
This was the first taste. I was very followed the rules, did everything right, studied, got the good grades, didn't break any of the rules, best student. This was the first of many rebellious things.
Was that part of the appeal of pro wrestling? Was that it was rebellious and something that wasn't accepted as the mainstream and was kind of on the outskirts?
I don't know. I got into wrestling because it was something me and my brother would just watch and try moves on together, and then I think I would women's wrestling 2008. I got super into it. Women's wrestling was really bad then, and I was just me in my stupid mind was like, oh, I could do better than that. So that's how the appeal of me wanting to do it started from. But maybe it was the rebellious aspect. I don't know. I never thought about that.
Were there any women's wrestlers that you watched at that time that made you go, she's different, I like her, or were you all just about the guys at that point?
At that specific point, Mickie James and Beth Phoenix, for sure. Melina, too. Those were three that were, really stood out from around that specific time. But mostly the guys, I'm going to be honest. Mostly the guys.
You said that you and your brother would always practice moves and stuff on each other. Were you a very physical kid growing up? Did you do a lot of sports and that kind of stuff, or was this strictly a family thing?
Strictly a family thing. I didn't do a lot of sports per se. I swam because it was something my mom wanted. I wanted us to swim. I did track in school because it was just a way to get out of class. I did karate, which was the only sport I did. I don't know. Every time I think of sports, I grew up in an Italian community, so every kid played soccer except for me. Every kid played hockey during the winter except for me. Sorry, the lights just went out. I don't know what happened.
We're still rolling, baby. WrestleMedia goes nonstop.
Yeah, so I guess I was kind of athletic. I was always the strongest in my class. I remember we did a fitness test in grade 8, and I beat every guy, and they were not happy about it.
You say you don't do sports, but there you named 3 sports that you've already done, which is awesome, and obviously helped you a lot out when it came to pro wrestling. When you first got to Squared Circle, what was your impression? How did you feel when you got in there, stepped in those ropes for the first time, and of course, the big one, took your first bump?
I was nervous. I was so nervous. The first day, when I went there with my uncle to see it, I was excited because I'm oh, this is so cool. But my first day of training, I was terrified. The first bump hurt. didn't hurt as much as they said it would. Like, they prepped me, like, oh, it's going to hurt. You know, you're going to want to take Epsom salt baths after. But again, like, I had karate before, where I'd learned how to break fall, except that was on mats. So I had the technique of a bump down, so I took the bump. I'm like, that wasn't that bad. The next day, I was like, oh, that was awful.
I imagine taking martial arts did prepare you quite a bit for the physicality of it, but there's had to be some stuff, some aspects of performing that you struggled with. What were they?
There's definitely some, like, hitting the ropes was hard at first because I'm so short that, like, I don't hit the ropes normally. I try to, but I don't hit them in the same spot everyone else does, so that's always the challenge of, especially every ring is different too, like, they're all different heights. So that's always, like, a weird challenge that I have that not a lot of people do. Moves came easy. I think it was the karate. Moves came really easy to me. Like, there's some things, like, I'm not giving a lot of body slams. I'm 4'10". It's very few people I can do this to. But moves came easy. It was a lot of technique, really. Like, high-flying stuff. I've got no hops. I'm not a high jumper. Springboards I'm working on. But, like, in the ring, most came easy. It was mostly, like, technique-wise of, like, movement was the hard part.
You mentioned that you're a little bit shorter than most. Obviously, the ring ropes become a challenge. Are there other challenges with being a shorter wrestler, or have people treated you differently because you're a bit tinier?
People treat me differently for sure. Like, every match I go into, everyone wants to do a David versus Goliath match. And I'm like, oh, okay, here we go again. Like, it's the same. I always tell them, like, no, we don't have to do that. We can do something different. Like, I know I'm short, but we don't have to do that same match all the time. But yeah, like, there's definitely, it's hard. There's some challenges being so short because, again, like, to go to pick somebody up, it's hard. I know I can have someone on my shoulders, but, like, their body is so long that they just slide off.
So if you're listening out there, promoters, all right, book Alexia Nicole and let her be Goliath for once, okay? Have her take on a mountainous woman and just have the woman, her opponent, be scared of her for once, okay? Let her cower in fear and let her be the bully for once in a while, goodness sake.
I mean, we could try it. I don't know if that's going to work.
All right, so you start training, and do you remember your first match at all?
I do, actually, because I wrestled on Canada Day. It was my first match 6 years ago. So my 6-year anniversary is coming up in 2 days, and boy, I feel old just saying that.
How old are you?
I'm 23.
Ah, come on, you're a baby.
I know, but, like, 6 years in wrestling, not even including training, it just feels like a long time.
Well, you've been doing it for a while then, so I mean, you're not quite a grizzled veteran, but you certainly have got some experience under your belt, which is awesome. Tell us more about that first match, and what were you feeling on that day? Besides, obviously, hot. It's a Canada Day show. I'm going to guess it was outdoors, as they tend to be.
Yeah, outdoors in Brampton, and I can't pronounce the name of the park, but it was for Tiger Fest. If anyone knows what Tiger Fest is, you know where it was. A ton of people, like, bleachers filled, like, you can't, it's just a sea of people. It's me and, who was it? It was me and, Cody 45, I want to say, against Marcus Marquez and Angelina Love, and I thought I was going to pee my pants.
But did you?
I did not, thankfully.
So you've had a chance to work with a lot of different people then. Tell us about some of the bigger opportunities that you've had that, got you real excited, or that, you kind of had to pinch yourself going, I can't believe I'm here doing this.
Were there some matches? I can't think of specific matches. Like, there's definitely moments, like when me and Aaliyah first wrestled each other in AIW, our first match together and our last match together, because we wrestled all over the place here. But when we went to AIW, we had our first match. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. Like, we're taking our show and going places with it. And then our last match was emotional because it was our last match against each other. So that was a big moment. My tryout was a big moment because I couldn't believe I got it. My Impact match, both matches with Jordan Grace. I wrestled her for Canusa at Smash 2 years ago. And the Impact match I had with her recently was it April? I think, April or May. That was big. That was like, oh my God. I do have a couple matches coming up that I don't know if I can talk about. One of them is this month. That's all I'm going to say. I'm really stoked for. So,
all right, let's first of all go back and mention that how great is it that the Women's Classic at Smash is such a thing that it has Canusa. Like, it's a word now that works, which is awesome. Tell us about working with Smash and them trying to really put a focus on women's wrestling, because a lot of companies have done it here in Ontario, but I feel like Smash is usually recognized as the first group to really put a spotlight on women's wrestling in a serious way in Ontario. What was it like being a part of that?
It was so good to be a part of because, like, a lot of places do try to do, like, put a focus on women's wrestling. It's hard, though, because there's not a lot of women's wrestlers, especially compared to guys, and, like, especially locally. Like, Ontario, right now, I said especially, like, 4 times in one sentence. There's me, Jody Threat, like, I'm trying to think that we work on all of the same shows. There's me, Jody Threat, Bia, Cece, Divya, Vanessa Love, Crystal Moon, Casey Spinelli. I'm only at 8, and, like, Violet Lee, Shiloh's hurt. There's Nova. There's only a handful, like, in the province itself, and it's kind of hard, makes it harder. So when Smash put a big focus on it, it was like that's great. Like, that's somewhere we can wrestle. We can have big matches. They're going to get aired somewhere. But unfortunately, again, like, you look at every wrestling company, how many of them have women's championships? Not many. How many of them have women's championships and have a division of more than 3 people? Even less.
How frustrating is it as a woman to be in this business that you love? But, I mean, do you ever get frustrated with that repetition of, like, same old song and dance over and over again? Like, that must get under your skin.
A little bit. Like, one of the reasons I love intergender wrestling is because I know I'm getting to work with somebody new, or I get to do different things. Like, don't get me wrong, I love wrestling the girls. I love it so much, especially, like, there's a girl in Superkicked, her name is Taylor. She's very new. I've had a couple matches with her. She's great, and she's just going to get better. But, like, I had to throw her in there because she's, like, my little pet project. But I love intergender wrestling because there's so many more options. And it's, like, it is frustrating because you work with the same people all the time. You're like, okay, what can I do differently? Because, you know, we have this match. It was good. Okay, you're going to have it again in, like, 2 weeks. Okay, you're going to have it again 3 weeks from now. You don't want to have the same matches over and over again, but you're given, you know, same amount of time. Same, you know, good guy, bad guy, same crowd. So they kind of, like, it is a little frustrating, the lack of options.
Let's talk about what you mean when you say Taylor's your pet project.
So I spent a solid month training with her before her first match. It was with me. And, yeah, she's Taylor Rising. She's just really good. Really good. She's only 3 months in. Real good. She's at Superkicked right now. I think she's going to be great.
Who did that for you when you were coming up? Like, who took you under their wing and said, it doesn't have to be a woman, but just someone who took you under their wing and was like, okay, kid, here's the ropes?
Quite a few. Like, a lot of people at Squared Circle. Squared Circle was great because it was a family. Like, everyone, like, I'm teaming with Shane Saber today. He was one of those people that did that for me. He did that. Anthony Fiasco did that. Preston Miles did that. Fuego was our trainer, so obviously he did that. But there was a whole group. John Greed did that. A whole group at Squared just kind of, like, took me and Aaliyah in, and just were like, we're just gonna work on some stuff today, and we're gonna keep doing it till you guys get it.
You had mentioned that you had been teaming with Aaliyah for a little while there. How cool is it to kind of see what she's doing now and see where she's at, and, like, do you guys still keep in touch and that sort of thing?
We actually just hung out on Sunday, yeah, because she's in town for a little bit. But I'm so happy for her. I'm so happy for her. She came in. She came in a huge fan. She was doing, like, reviews of Raw before she started wrestling on YouTube, and she's so passionate. She worked really hard to get there, and I know she's working hard now. She's gotten a lot better since she got there, and she knows that, so I can say that. But it's cool. It's cool to see your friend succeed. It's really cool, and it feels really nice.
So what you're saying is that, you know, you can start, like, reviewing stuff on Raw, doing reports and whatnot, and making it somewhere. I still got a shot, is what you're saying.
Yeah, you got a good shot. She did it. Anyone can.
Let's talk about your tryout. I mean, that must have been huge. Walk us through how it happened, when you got the call, what was the process?
So I had gotten an email, I think in December of, it was last January was 2018, December of 2017.
You're not so bad at math.
I'm okay.
If I can tell you something here that might make you feel better about that, my wife makes fun of me because I don't remember things by year. I remember them by WrestleManias. So we got married. What year was that? WrestleMania 27. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good way to remember it. So I got an email saying, you know, basically a save the date. This is what the date we're looking at. If you can make these dates for this tryout, respond to this email, let us know. So I did that. And then in January, I was sitting in class, actually, obviously not paying attention on my laptop, and I got an email saying, congratulations, you've been invited to a tryout.
Now, how old were you?
I was 20. I just turned 21, I think.
Okay, so you were past the legal age at this point. You could come. So was this a tryout at a show, or was this, hey, you got to come down to where we are and blah blah blah?
That was, we're going to fly you down to the Performance Center for 3 days, and you're going to do the whole thing. Tell
us about that. Like, what was it? First of all, what's it like being at the PC, and then tell us about what the tryout was like, or at least as much of it as you can tell. I know they're pretty sensitive about getting all that info.
I think I can say, they never got back to me, so I think I can say whatever I want.
Let's do it then.
The PC blew my mind. I walked in. I actually got there. My flight got delayed so much because there was a snowstorm that day. I got there at 11 o'clock at night, the night before the tryout started. So I walk in there. It's literally like, it looks like a huge gym. And then past that, there's like a glass wall. It's got 6 wrestling rings. And then there's like a whole upstairs too. It's insane. I got there super late at night. They did all your physical testing. And then the next morning, 8 a.m., you get there, promos right away.
So they start you out talking.
And they had actually sent us an itinerary where promos was going to be the last day. So no one was thinking about it until you show up there, you do your physical, okay, promos are tomorrow morning.
So they wanted to catch you off guard, see how you'd react to it.
Yeah, they really did. But I think everyone did pretty well. Like, there was a lot of non-wrestlers, a lot of athletes at this one, and even still, everyone did pretty well.
Any faces that were familiar to you?
MJ Jenkins was there, and she's the one who got signed from that. Dylan Bostic was there. Killer Cross was there. Killer Cross was actually in my car because they put you in travel groups, and he was part of my car. Kylie Ray was there. Maria Manic, who just debuted with Ring of Honor, and I'm so happy for her. Trying to think of who else. Camilla, Nick Aldis's insurance policy was there. There's a couple other names I can't remember right away. There was like 60 people there, so I don't remember everyone, but...
No worries. So tell us about the actual tryout process. What do they put you through after your promos?
So after the promos, get changed, get in the ring, they show you how to roll. A lot of squats, push-ups, stretching, sit-ups, getting up in the proper way, getting back down, just staying in unison with everybody, jumping into the ring they taught us how to do. They taught us how to hit the ropes. It was basically 3 days of drills.
Did you prepare or train differently before the tryouts? Were you focusing in on something specific?
So there's this thing called the bag drill that they do, where there's like a punching bag in the middle of the ring. You have to hit the ropes, drop down, jump over it, another drop down, hit the ropes, do the same thing back, and that's 1. And that's the big test at the end of the tryout. So so everyone knows about it. So everyone leading up to it always gets in the habit of doing that a few times before you go down there.
All right. So it was a long, grueling process. Was that the most difficult part, the bag test?
It was the part that got me the most tired. That's for sure. But they also do it as a race. So they split you up into 2 groups. They have the 3 rings. One group does one set of 3 rings, one group does the other, and you basically compete to see who can do the most. You have a minute each ring, who can do the most in those 3 minutes. So you're competing to see who can do the best. So I would say it was the hardest.
Now let's switch over and talk about Impact. So how did that tryout compare to the WWE one? It must have been pretty different.
Impact wasn't even a tryout. I just, Scott had actually, he sent me a message. He's like, hey, are you available on these days? I'm like, yeah, it was the Rebellion pay-per-view and the taping after. I'm like, yeah, I'm available. He's like, okay, come down. Like, okay, so I went for Rebellion. I kind of got to hang out. I know I'm like half the locker room already from other like indie shows. So like LAX, I'm super cool with Jordan. I've wrestled obviously a lot of the girls. Tessa, I wrestled one of like her first matches, like not one like the first ones, but like pretty early in her career at AIW. So like we always have fun seeing each other and hung out basically with everyone that day. And the next day I show up and Tommy Dreamer comes up to me. He's like, you have a match. And that's how it went.
And, of course, you had your gear with you. You're ready to go on that. What was that experience like working with them on TV?
It was so much fun. It's a whole different experience. Like, you can do indie shows with, like, and you have, obviously, you have your hard cam, you have your roaming cameras. It's still so different because you're getting time cues from the ref, on how long you have to go and, like, just like, you have a camera here, a camera here, a camera here. Before you go even outstage, you can see all the camera angles, and you're like, oh, wow, it's a lot of cameras.
You're Italian. So tell us, what is your favorite thing to eat out on the road?
Literally anything. We got donuts on the way up here.
What kind?
So we stopped at a place called Mariposa's in Midland? Yeah, in Midland. It's called a Texas donut. It's basically a giant chocolate glazed donut.
How big?
Like the size of your head big.
That's a pretty big donut. Now, was it you and your travel partners, or did you just eat that whole thing yourself?
I ate the whole thing myself.
Atta girl. High five to that, yes. That's what you call crushing it. I love it. What do you do when you're not wrestling? Like, what do you like to do just to kind of relax a little bit?
What do I do? I don't do a lot. Like, this is what I said where I don't do anything fun. I know every Tuesday, like, a group of us go to the movies, like a group of wrestlers. Yeah, like, that's just our thing. We go to see movies, but, like, I'm wrestling a lot lately, so I don't have time to do nothing.
6 wrestlers walk into a movie theater.
We spend, like, 20 minutes picking a movie.
You guys don't even have a plan when you go out.
No, we'll look at all the movies playing that day, and we'll pick one, and we'll go in and see another.
I saw Toy Story 4 over the weekend. You seen it yet?
We're going on Tuesday. I told them we're going on Tuesday.
Bring tissues.
Ah.
It made me cry.
I've gotten so many messages about it's going to make me cry. I'm not excited. I'm excited to see it, but I'm not excited to cry.
Are you a crier at movies?
Oh, I'm so bad. I cried during Happy Death Day too.
How was that? Because I missed that one, and I really liked the first one, so I was hoping to see it.
It was good. Like, it was pretty funny. I actually really I didn't expect to enjoy it. I really liked it.
What kind of movies do you like? Like, are you into? Do you have a particular genre, or do you just kind of do anything?
I'll see anything. Like, I can't do like super serious movies, like romantic movies that are just like romantic movies. Like, I can do a rom-com. I can't do like a Titanic.
Oh, okay, so like you don't mean super serious like an Avengers Endgame where like it's like high stakes. You mean just like dramas? Yeah,
no, dramas. Got to be a good drama to get me in.
What's been the best movie you've seen this year?
That's a tough question. I'm gonna say Endgame.
It's hard. It's kind of hard to beat Endgame, right? I mean, okay, so here's did you die or did you cry? Whoops, spoilers. Everybody knows now. Did you cry at the big death?
10 minutes. I wept for 10 minutes.
I think we all shed a few tears. It was a pretty emotional thing for sure.
Twice, and I wept for the same 10 minutes. Twice.
Was he your favorite, like in the Marvel universe, or do you have another favorite?
No, my favorite's Bucky Barnes.
Well, at least you got him back then.
Yeah, I got him back, but like I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming because we had put off seeing it, and I had seen a spoiler, and I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming anyways. I'm like, somebody's big's gonna die, and I saw that. I'm like, I need to go see this tonight. Who's coming with me? So I got a couple people to come with me, and they started. I'm crying, and they're laughing at me crying.
Well, they're wrestlers, right? They gotta, of course, exploit your quote unquote weaknesses. So, what are you looking forward to? Upcoming movies.
Toy Story 4, Lion King.
Are you a big like Disney fanatic?
I'm wearing a Lilo and Stitch dress right now.
Shows you how observant I am.
Huge Disney fan. If I could live at Disney World, I would live at Disney World.
Top 3 favorite Disney movies. Go.
Dumbo, Lilo and Stitch, and Mulan.
Original Dumbo or new Dumbo?
Original.
Did you see the new Dumbo? What did you think of it?
I didn't see it.
It's okay. I don't think you missed anything from what I've heard.
Okay, good. I wanted to see it, but we just kept seeing other movies in place of it, and then it's not around anymore.
What is the best wrestling movie?
Now, is it wrestling, like wrestling movie, wrestling's in it, or wrestling like wrestlers?
However you define it.
I mean, Fighting with My Family was the first movie that we all went out on a Tuesday with to go see. So, like, that's I think that's the best wrestling movie. I never saw The Wrestler, so I can't even say.
Is there a reason? Like, is it like you won't see it, or you're afraid to see it, or just like, I just haven't had time?
I think it was just the age. Like, when did it come out?
2000, I want to say 7. Forgive me, listeners, if I'm wrong.
Yeah, like, I'm 23 now. 2007, I was early mid-teens, yeah.
You were younger.
Yeah, I was younger. I didn't really care to see it at the time, I guess.
You should go back and watch it, and then listen to our episode of Ropes to Reels where we review it, and let us know what you think about it.
I will. I've been meaning to. I want to go. I got to go back and see it.
Alexia, thank you so much. Before we wrap things up, 2 things. First of all, let our listeners know what you got on your plate, what's coming up, and where they can find you, where they can get a hold of you, all that stuff. I'll give you a minute to pull all that up on your phone. You know, every single wrestler I talk to, same thing. Oh, shoot, you caught me off guard. Let me just pull it up. I'm like, do interviewers not do this? Do they not give you the chance to, like, promote and shill? I thought that was the whole point of coming on these shows.
No, they do. But, like, I got to make sure, like, what do I have next? What's coming up? So, okay, so.
You're checking your calendar.
Yeah, I'm checking my calendar right now. Okay, so to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, it's at Alexia Nicole, 2 X's, 2 A's at the end of Alexia. It's not spelled that way normally. It just, the normal handle was taken. So, please, if you're going to talk to me, don't spell it with 2 X's and 2 A's.
I feel you. When we got all of our social media stuff, we had to add CA onto everything because one person took a Twitter handle, WrestleMedia. So we're like, well, I guess it's all got to be WrestleMedia.ca. So we feel you there. So you got your calendar out there. Let it run down where you're going to be.
So July 6th, I'll be in Ottawa for Acclaim Wrestling. July 13th, Crossbody. I have a women's championship defense. July 19th, I'll be at Superkicked. July 27th, I'll be at CWF. That's the big match that, again, I don't know if I can talk about yet, but I think it's pretty obvious if you've seen the poster who I'm wrestling.
Who's on the poster? I haven't seen the poster. I tell you what, if you want, I can bleep out the name, and then if they promote it and whatever, then I will unbleep it.
Tessa Blanchard.
Okay, there you go. So there you go. If this is unbleeped, wow. If it's not unbleeped, wow. I still know.
Yeah, so in August, if you want to bleep this one too, I'll be wrestling 17th.
That's pretty cool. I think you guys would make a great tag team, to be honest with you.
So?
I do.
I mean, I just want to wrestle her, but tag team, yeah, that's cool too.
Well, I mean, you can start off as enemies, and then you can become frenemies, like Apollo and Rocky.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
You're so young. She has no idea what I'm talking about.
No, I love Rocky movies.
Did you cry at Rocky?
Cried at Rocky, cried Creed. I cried the first 10 minutes of Creed too. The second I saw that tombstone, the waterworks started.
They're so good, those movies. Stallone was robbed. He should have got an Oscar for the first Creed. Absolutely. Alexia, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for coming on Women Crush Wrestling.
Thank you. It was good. It was fun. Thank you so much. I had fun. Thank you.
Hey, this is a commercial for patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca, where you can get early access to episodes of your favorite WrestleMedia shows, get full uncut and uncensored versions of your favorite shows, and more. Don't want to hear this commercial on your podcast anymore? Sign up at our main event tier and get these episodes ad-free. Want to hear your own commercial here instead of ours? We've got tiers for that too. Visit patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca and join the WrestleMedia revolution today.
I'm always excited to talk to Alexia. What a great chat we had. I was honored, and I really hope that she'll join us here on the show again someday. That's going to do it for this week here on Women Crush Wrestling. I had a great time this week, and I hope y'all did too. I missed Jen. Obviously, I miss having her around. It's just been a crazy week. It has just been a crazy week here at WrestleMedia. I have been away from my proverbial desk most of the week, tending to some wonderful family stuff. I won't get into it, although Matt Sukram kind of spoiled it over on the wrestling show. I'm becoming an uncle, and I'm taking care of my newborn niece, along with my wife and, of course, the actual parents, my sister and my brother-in-law. And it has been a wonderful experience. Hopefully I will get her hooked on women's professional wrestling as soon as I possibly can, and we'll have one more listener here to join the ever-growing WrestleMedia army. Thanks so much for listening, guys. All of you have been listening for free. We appreciate that. Make sure that you're following us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can sign up for those right now at all of those platforms, WrestleMedia.ca, Facebook.com/ Instagram.com/ Twitter.com/ WrestleMedia.ca. There you can interact with us. We're going to be posting news stories that we come across and giving you up-to-date information on some of the bigger shows that we're going to be a part of this summer, so make sure you check it out. And if you really want to support us and get a little more for yourself, you know where to go. Patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca. For a few ducats in the bucket each and every single month, you can get early access to episodes. You can get bonus content with your episodes. You can get exclusive content that only certain tiers are going to have access to, and you get to participate, involved in polls and contests that are only going to be for our patrons. Plus, merchandise, shout-outs, all that great stuff that you get for supporting us at patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca. Now, if you can't throw a few ducats in the my goodness, I'm so tongue-tied. A few ducats in the bucket, no worries. There's a lot of great ways that you can support us for free as well. First and foremost, if you're listening on iTunes, give us 5 stars and a great positive review, and share the podcast. That's the easiest thing you can do, man. Share it with a friend or a family member or an enemy or somebody you meet on the street. Just say, hey, man, you like women's wrestling? Well, you're gonna after you listen to this podcast, and then share it with them. That's what we really appreciate. And we thank you very much for listening in. Jen will be back next week. We're getting ever closer to the big week in Toronto and her due date. Both are exciting for different reasons. But this has been an exciting episode of Women Crush Wrestling for me. I hope it has been for you too. Thanks again for listening. And until next week, thanks for crushing it. That's what we did. We crushed it. Yeah.
This has been a presentation of WrestleMedia, where everything is wrestling and wrestling is everything. Here's what you're missing out on right now over at patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca.
The truth of the matter is that for 2 weeks now, Mike Kanellis has been in a featured segment on Monday Night Raw. Sure, he's not winning matches, and he is being made to look a bit like a loser. Sure. Very much like a loser. But it's not always about where you start, it's about where you finish.
Want more? Sign up now at patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca.